alcohol testing along with DNA testing. So that could be parent and child, siblings, grandparents, whatever. We do all of the collection of the tests. So what happens is there are two different options that you can have for DNA testing. One can be, let's say, if you wanted it yourself, and then the other option would be, of course, if it was court ordered. And being that they weren't going through a court battle at the time, it was their choice to have the test. So again, what happens is both parents are swabbed. And because Chrisean was pregnant, they drew her blood so that they could get the cells and the enzymes from the fetus that way, because the baby was not born yet.
Right.
So they process it. And because he wasn't born at the time, that's why when they were reading the results, it came back and it read as it did, that he was not excluded from being the parent.
Exactly.
Now, once Chrisean Jesus been born, they did another test, then it would have been the 99% blah blah blah. They can only get but so much of a result if the baby is not born. So he definitely is the father because it said that he was not excluded, meaning that from the cells that they took from her fetus, from her blood,
it belongs to that baby,
and from them swabbing his mouth with his saliva, it showed that he was the father, or that he is the father. If he wasn't, then it would have said he is excluded. It would not have said he is not excluded. It would have 150% said that he was excluded.
And Blueface is slow because he didn't understand what that meant. Excluded, means don't exclude yourself. You are in the process of this making and the baking and the shaking of what's in the oven, okay, of CashApp. He was confused by that. I really wish it would have just said, you are 99.9%, you are the father. But like she just broke it down, you can't. That's the way they word it. They should change that wording. It was the wording that confused Blueface. And probably to this day, it confuses him, the word, when he reads in his head, in his jail cell, that it read, you're not excluded. Excluded means it's your child, bro. But if the child was born and they took a test, it would say 99.99 or whatever percent you are the father. It's the same thing. It's just different terminology, because the terminology is different because of the fact that the child is born. They can take fluids from the child when the child is born, and that's when the test will say that you're 99.99 father or whatever, or not the father. Understand that, man. People say he has a right. Ronnie has a right to know if that's it. Ronnie needs to have the right to go to a rehab. Or that's what he has a right to do. Go to a rehab.
And I saw earlier today that one of those hate pages did all of these screenshots of zooming in on the envelope, and why was the envelope folded, and it had an attorney's office on it, and the copy of the DDC logo was in black and white and not in color. If the attorneys for either Zeus, Chrisean, Blueface, or whatever were the ones that received the result.
And you know what? They're not even slow. They play slow. Because I know people in real life that do the same thing, and they're not even on social media. People play dumb and retarded. But see, I like when people play dumb and retarded with me, because then I play dumb and retarded too. And you never win. And I always say to the person playing stupid and slow, after I sock it to them, how you make out?
Then it would, or requested the results. That's where they would have gone to. They would have gone to them. And of course, copies of the results can be made. Oh, well, the envelope was already ripped open. Well, duh, she opened it up, or whomever gave it to her opened it up and looked at it, and then they handed her the envelope. So all of this speculation about whether or not he's the father needs to be deaded, because had he not been the father on that test, it would have clearly stated he is the potential father is excluded from any possibility of being this child's father. Secondly,
excluded.
The DDC is not
right. There's a lot of people that should be on the bus, the yellow short bus with the helmet. Okay, and I don't care who gets mad. Somebody one time got my comment section and said, "I was on the short bus." You need to be on there again. And not only that, Zeus Network is not losing their license. They're on TV, honey. That's a bigger let me tell you something. That's a bigger game playing field. They're monetized on television, okay, and on like websites like this. They're not doing that for no Blueface and Chrisean Rock. That's when you're gonna hear the truth come out my mouth that Chrisean Rock and Blueface ain't that important.
Not going to fake a test for Zeus, for Chrisean, for Blueface, and for anybody else. They are the number one.
And I said that before this lady just said what I just said. So you know I'm real talking it this morning. Happy Saturday.
Collection processing center in the United States. They process tests for my lab, for 𝗪𝗪𝗔𝗧𝗖𝗛, for anybody that, even if most child support, if you go to your local child support office and the courts request a test, the DDC is going to process it. So what happens is the collection is done either in a doctor's office or like with my collection, we also do mobile. So
Chrisean Rock and Blueface ain't that special. It is just special to a certain group of people. It ain't that serious, boo. I support Chrisean Rock, and I'm telling you, it ain't that serious. She is not that special that they would jeopardize their coins for no Chrisean Rock. No, and not in no lifetime. Okay.
We offer mobile service, meaning that we can come to you to do your testing. So we would go and collect the test. It goes into a specimen bag and it is shipped off to the DDC. The DDC processes it and then they send you the results.
Right, and it gets
so I don't know where all of these people are getting all of this speculation other than just being hateful that Blue is not the father, because he is the father, because the results would specifically have said that
he wasn't the father.
So I don't know what more these people want to prove it, but and Ronnie, baby.
Listen, they want to keep the lie going. People hear me say it all the time. I've been saying it since the Nature Boy commentary. It's people want to live in the lie because the lie goes on and on and on and on. The truth ceases and desists everything. People don't want to live in the truth because then it'll be over with. It'll be over with. So the people that say stuff like, "Oh, you're part of the problem," you will be part of the solution to stop looking at the videos. Right. You're the same people that don't want the lie to go away. The ones that say, "I'm part of the problem." You're really low key the problem because you want the lie to keep going. You want the hate to keep spreading for Chrisean Rock because you don't like her.
I don't understand how he, would even have any type of speculation, because you have said it repeatedly that you're not his father. Now all of a sudden,
you are the father.
Whoever's putting this battery in your back is pumping you up to think that.
And in China,
honestly speaking, Chrisean doesn't owe you to give you a test.
Maybe he said, "I'm gonna do what Blue did. I know that's Blue's baby. I'm just gonna say when I'm mad or in my feelings, that ain't my baby." Because Blue will say that in a heartbeat. Because Blue started that up too. That's why somebody put a battery in Ronnie's back with this. It's not my baby. It is my baby. Because Blueface do it, and it is his baby. Just like with the Charles Barkley statement. Who said it? The biological father, Blueface. That dude's a crash dummy. Blueface is a crash dummy too. Don't leave him out now. Let's not just throw Ronnie under the bus. Put them both underneath the bus. Or put them both on the slow bus. Blueface and Ronnie. They're both slow.
If she's already tested who the father is and the results are already shown, why does she have to prove to you that you're not the father?
Or anybody.
That's right. That's right. I'm so glad that you came up and you spoke, because so many people, and then let me just say this also, when they were talking about an envelope, and about why was it in this type of envelope. I was telling Blue Rock today, I'm one of those people that I'll get a big, manila envelope, and I'll put everything in one envelope that has nothing to do with what I'm putting in the envelope.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't.
It's not a big deal.
They're just using every little thing. It could be my kids' physicals or something, and I could put it in whatever. It's just what I have at the time, and I put it in that envelope. But I thank you for saying that the DDC is not going to fake a test for Zeus or anybody else.
Nope.
They are a reputable
getting money
company organization.
Yes, they are, and the DDC
TV.
would lose. They would lose their licensing and all of their contracts and everything else if it was to come out that they had faked a test result for anybody. They're not going like Chrisean. I mean,
and that's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Just like funeral homes need to be provided because people die every second of the day all around the world. It's the same thing with DNA tests. So nobody is losing their coins for no Chrisean Rock and no Blueface. They are not that serious. They are not that important. They're only important to a small sector on YouTube and IG. That's it. Chrisean Rock, I be playing around, but Chrisean Rock ain't no household name. Even if she was a household name, ain't nobody messing up their coins for no Blueface and no Chrisean Rock. I'm sorry, it ain't that serious, honey. There ain't no Beyonce and Jay-Z, and they're not even doing that for Beyonce and Jay-Z neither.
Love Chrisean dearly, but she's not worth them losing their license.
Right.
And
I love Chrisean dearly, but she's not worth losing their license. I'll finish it faster for her.
Federal government contracts and everything else that they have. They have contracts with the federal child support office. So do people really think that they're going to take the time to fake a test result for Chrisean and lose millions of dollars in contracts that they had?
And Karlissa in China, the biggest elders of the circus know that too. But they know they can put a battery in the hater's back, and then they can spread the hate that they want to spread. The hate goes like wildflower, and then it gets so contagious it spreads just like the big C did, and then a big pandemic breaks out because of the rumors that the two elders stirred up, and this is where we end up where we're at right now. Can't leave her out.
Have access to, like, let's be sensible people here. Exactly. Put your hate aside and let's think with common sense, even though it's obvious that some people don't have that.
Right.
But let's use a little, like, let's be sensible people here.
Exactly.
Let's use common sense, not haterade sense. Okay. Let's use, you can do the haterating after you come to the common sense. Come to the common sense first, and then be back on the hate. But you got to come to your senses. A lot of people ain't using common sense and got a nerve to be getting up here trying to get flip and slick with me. But you up here on the team talking about that ain't Blueface's baby. You don't have common sense, so you don't even have a leg to stand on to say nothing to me until you get your common sense right.
Put your hate aside and let's think with common sense, even though it's obvious that some people don't have that. But let's use a little common sense here. Who's going to lose federal funding and federal contracts to fake a test result for Zeus Network?
Exactly.
Only the people with no common sense would lose it.
I'm very happy to I'm very happy to hear
Smith,
that.
I got the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank
And to
you
me,
for the
it's
Cash
just
App. Thank you, sweetie. Good morning.
It's
Happy
just
Saturday.
crazy how people zoom into the idea of trying to figure out, why the envelope's folded, why it could potentially be in a law firm's name,
Thank you, sweet. I love you,
why
sis.
Chrisean was wearing the color green, it's just, and this is why it comes back down to sometimes you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Right, exactly.
Because they're sitting there trying to break apart and rip apart.
You said that earlier. It took me a while to get back to you, sis. I want to stop this live for 1 second, only because I don't check my Cash App all the time because I don't expect no one to send me no money. All I ask people to do is support the channel and hit the like or the dislike button. But I appreciate you. Thank you, sis. I did get it. And I know I always say I shouldn't be saying people's names, but I have to say your name. You always support this channel. I love you, Big Red. Good looking out, sis. Always, baby girl.
Little, and I like the idea that you were able to also speak to some of that, like for example, if there was a law firm handling the case, right, or handling this test, right, that they could have potentially had it in their own envelopes, right? They could have potentially gotten the original and made photocopies to give it to the parties. Who knows? Like, there's so much speculation, but what we do know that happened is that there was a DNA test there present, and it did speak to Blueface being the father. And you also help clarify the reasons to why, the language may be one way right now with Chrisean being pregnant at the moment compared to, it being, or worded.
I don't even know why we're having this discussion
right?
about
So,
people doing
again,
behind
thanks again for
closed
clarifying
doors.
that. If some of the people didn't get
In their
that
bed.
now, then, I think they're just being ignorant with the situation as well and just trying not to understand it,
And that's exactly what it is. They want to spew the hate, and they want to spew the ignorance that, oh, it's not. Oh, because Blue said this about the baby, and Blue said that. Blue said all of those things because Blue was acting like an emotional child, not because of that the results were fake, not because of anything. He did that because he was in his feelings about Chrisean not dealing with him at the time, which he does every time they get into.
Every time he gets into something, he does that. Just like with the Charles Barkley, everybody calls that baby Charles Barkley to this day. Well, who started it? His biological father, Blueface. Y'all will sit there and give Blueface credit over CashApp any day of the week, and that's sad. And he'll straight disrespect everybody that be giving him props. CashApp will show you more love than Blueface, and y'all be trying to give him all this love.
Something, but that does not negate the fact that that test result is a legitimate test result, and that company is a legitimate company. And I also want to speak on because I also heard that
Cynthia, right? I think people are doing that because I guess when they find out who the baby's father is, they're gonna help take care of Junior. Yeah, right. People are just miserable. That's why they're so concerned. They ain't got no business of their own, or they got business of their own, but they don't want to be in their own business, because their business is worse than Chrisean Rock and Bluefaces. That's why. So they'd rather stay in somebody else's business.
Back was on
handle your own business
on his podcast or whatever website he was on, public platform he was on, talking about that Chrisean had the baby at a private hospital. Okay, I am from Baltimore. Okay, I had 2 of my children at the very same hospital that Chrisean had CAP. GBMC, which stands for Greater Baltimore Medical Center, is not a private hospital. It is one of the best hospitals in the state of Maryland, in Baltimore, just as well as people know about Johns Hopkins.
Yeah,
people that live in Baltimore and that live in Maryland know about GBMC. That's where she had her child. So y'all, they can dead all of that, talking about she did.
He got into an accident with the baby in the car that night when he came to get the baby. Yep.
This, that, and the third, because she went to a private hospital. GBMC is not a private hospital. She went there because she was in labor. Not, you can't, only way that you can plan a delivery at that hospital is if it's a problem with the baby, if you go in labor, or like with my younger son, I was overdue. So of course, when you are past your due date, I was 10 days overdue. They schedule your delivery when you're overdue. But all of that pre-planning to deliver the baby early, that hospital is not going to do that. So they can dead that as well.
Well, there you have it, people. You know, and that's why sometimes I like the power of conversation, right? Because there's people from all different places, and listen, you can't, what is it? You can't lie to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, for example, I may not know, I'm not from there, but we gonna find out. You know, there's people out here that's gonna find out. You know, and one thing I like about a lot of the viewerships here that we carry is y'all smart as hell. you're not going to sit there and just listen to little micro bits of certain things. You're going to go out there, you're going to do your research. We're going to do our research. If we don't know something, we're going to be straight up and say, listen, we don't know something, we'll look into it, whatever the case might be. But that's one thing that I can appreciate. Again, Sabrina, I think, and I thank you for bringing a lot of the facts tonight and help clarify things that, myself, I couldn't have done that myself.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You guys are very welcome. And if you ever need me again to come up, if anybody else, has anything that they want to question or say, Latrice, I follow you on Instagram as well. So just and I will definitely be ready for you guys whenever you need me.
Yes,
awesome.
We are named twins, girl. We're named twins. Thank you.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, no, definitely continue the connection because listen, the way things are going, I think we might need you again.
Yes.
And listen, and I'll be Johnny on the spot. Y'all just let me know.
Period.
Nice.
All right, I'm gonna leave now. I'll still be on.
Right.
I'll still be on though, in case you guys need me to come back up. I'll just still be on.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Right. Appreciate you. All right. Latrice, that's crazy.
That is crazy. And then we also have another caller. Audrey, did you go back up? Blue Rock, check your inbox for me. Audrey, did you go come back up so Blue Rock can let you up?
I have somebody waiting, 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪.
Okay. Audrey can come up after that.
Okay, I'm gonna let 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪 come up.
Okay.
And what's going on, 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪? How's everything going?
How you guys doing?
Good, yourself?
I've been just keeping up with this here mess, and it's just terrible. It's really terrible how all these grown people are just going mad crazy over a baby. Now, everybody know that's not Ronnie's baby. God himself will have to come down and tell me different. That is not that boy baby. He know that, but he just wanted
Okay, haters. All right, sis. They're haters.
We lost her.
We'll talk after live.
We can't hear you. You're cutting out there, 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪. You are cutting out. Anybody else backstage? I see some live.
We need cocktails for her.
Word, it was no longer there, and I haven't seen it since.
All right, cool. You are.
So yeah, I just want to say, because I'm getting up off here. I didn't even realize I was on here for almost 2 hours again. But I don't understand why people had to get down to the bottom of whether or not Ronnie was a father or Blueface. Ain't none of your business. That's what that girl did behind closed doors. I don't want to know what she's doing between the sheets. You ain't taking care of that child. You find out what's gonna be different if you find out. You gonna help you gonna put yourself on child support for Chrisean and give Chrisean some money every month? What are you gonna do? Nothing. Just try to find some other way to have something to talk about. Y'all ain't doing right. Not all y'all, but the 1%. Y'all need to sit down and shut up. You ain't doing right. And I approve this message. Well, from Karlissa, Blueface had a vasectomy. Oh, Lord. Ooh, child. That's what Karlissa said? Yes, I did, Odine. Clock it. That's scary how invested the people are, CashApp. These ladies sound 50. Shake my hand. It don't matter. T Money, let me just say something to you really quickly. Let's not get disrespectful with that. It don't matter what age you are. You could be Blueface's age because he's acting slow. And he's 27. And Ronnie's 24. Slow. It don't matter what age. Okay? People can be you know what I'm saying, invested. You invested. And I bet you not even 50 plus. So don't get yourself blocked, boo. Please don't. Because I got my mods in here, and you might be probably on my second channel, but I can get one of them to snipe you out of my comment section. Don't get yourself blocked, for real. Don't come up here disrespecting my platform. I need a drink now. I'm not having no drink. I'm going to have me some ice cream.